as much as we want to sit here, and I heard it all week on sports talk radio. Oh, the refs helped the Bucks, which we'll get to that in a second. A lot of this also has to go on Kansas City because
they didn't show up.
No,
plain and simple.
A, they didn't show up, and B, you know how you were saying, guys were saying before about the offensive line situation? Yes. What's the one thing, Steven? I know I go back to this every week. What's the one thing I always preach?
No matter what, no matter if you got Tom Brady, if you got Peyton Manning, who played 20 plus years in his career, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, and even a young 25 starting quarterback that won a Super Bowl and an MVP in the regular season, Patrick Mahomes, you have to have an offensive line. Because if you don't, my friends, then you will suffer the consequences of a beatdown, of a thrashing, slaughtering, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers displayed on the Kansas City Chiefs this past Sunday night. 31-9. No touchdowns allowed. Think about this. What team has allowed Patrick Mahomes-led Kansas City Chiefs team to not score a touchdown? This team accomplished something into itself. You hold the most talented quarterback, arguably right now at a young starting age, an MVP starting quarterback, threw 50 touchdowns in his first season as a starter, won a Super Bowl the next year and the MVP. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions plus fumbles, sacks, hits, the whole 9 yards. Tampa Bay beat the living hell out of this young man. And I think it may not be a blueprint to what I think. You know what? I think other teams can assess to what you can do. If other teams want to have success against this Kansas City team, watch what the Buccaneers did to this young Chiefs team. You double team Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think, to me, it was one of those things that Kansas City just didn't show up. But like we were saying before, as much as the blame goes to Kansas City, there's also a third part. And I know, Carl, this is one thing you have been freaking salivated.
Before we get to that part, history was made at the Super Bowl, not even by both teams. NFL had their first ever female referee make history by going to the Super Bowl. Yep. Congratulations to the NFL, and congratulations, Sarah Thomas of the Referee Association. Big, huge props to you guys. You did something right.
One other thing before we get to the penalties and stuff. You guys know also the Super Bowl was the lowest viewed Super Bowl on TV?
Yes.
Here's my trivia question for you guys, and here's for the show, for the people listening as well. What did it overtake?
Super Bowl 53.
No.
No?
No.
No.
Any guesses?
I have nothing. Just go ahead, John.
Super Bowl 3.
Yes.
Oh.
Was the last time, had the lowest viewed one, which kind of surprises me, being that we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, and how nobody can really do anything.
I can attribute to this why this game was low. Look at the score and look at the flow of the game.
It's absolutely.
It was all one-sided.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to make one quick mention before we get back to the talk for a second. We'll be joined in about 7 minutes or so by Kent Serlin of CBS Sports out in Indianapolis, talk more about the Super Bowl and then what's going on with the Colts. But
real quick. Also, before we get back into the conversation, I want to give a shout out to HER for a kick-ass rendition of America the Beautiful with a stunning eargasm, if you will, of a guitar solo. Because me being a musician, me being a drummer, when she grabbed that first note on that guitar and started playing the solo, it's like the guitar was singing. And the more she kept playing, the more notes that I kept hearing that were making me feel emotional, because her music on that solo grabbed my attention. So props to her for that.
If I could do a quick take for just a minute.
Sure.
I believe we saw the self-destruction of the Chiefs this Sunday. the way how everything went. Everyone talked about how good their season was, right?
Mhm.
And I believe all that just came down on them. The pressure of defending and what's going on with the line, the defense, the offense. I mean, the Bucks really did double team Tyreek Hill, and I was impressed with that because that was one key thing I said that should happen, that the Bucks should do, and they did it.
And also, too, props to our first guest on a Nation Sports Show on Monday last week, Danielle McCartan. She nailed her $35 bet for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl. $750 later. Props to you, Danielle.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing also that we're forgetting. Marks, going back to what you just said, I have to disagree with you. I don't think we said the destruction. They're still a young team. I think this was just a
hiccup
more. I think
give it
it
a
was
hiccup.
about a team that had a destruction this past year, Marks.
But it wasn't
your
the worst self-destruction we saw. The Steelers had the self-destruction.
Big time.
Yeah.
And I'm a Steelers fan, and I'm willing to admit that.
Can't say what Kansas City had. Like I said before, what Kansas City had was just a hiccup. Mahomes is still young enough, and I'm tired of these people who are sitting there and saying that because Mahomes didn't win, it takes him out of the question of being one of the greatest quarterbacks.
Look at Aaron Rodgers.
Nope.
To me, that's a
He's
load
got
of bullshit.
too much time left in his career
He's got a lot of time, yes, to
And
bounce back.
Brett Favre was a first ballot Hall of Famer and won one Super Bowl and lost a second Super Bowl. So who cares? Rings do not make a Hall of Famer. The quarterback or the respective position player, the wide receiver, the tight end, whoever it is, that makes the person, not the Super Bowl rings. Get it straight.
Here's the thing also that people forget. Mahomes has already won a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl MVP. Did he also win MVP in the regular season?
Yes, he did. His second year.
He also, threw for 50 touchdowns in a season.
Yep.
This guy has accomplished more in such a short time span than some of these other quarterbacks who have been in the league for 5-6 years. So this crap that, Patrick Mahomes didn't win. Stop that right now. That felt good. But
he went against Brady, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, and a Tampa Bay defense that was shrouding in greatness for the rest of the season. 7 straight wins to the Super Bowl. They were
Now, do you guys realize something? Before we get into the other stuff we needed to talk about, that I know I'm going to go on a rant, Steve's probably going to go on a rant, but did you guys realize something, that next year, if Brady does stay with the Buccaneers, he will be the second quarterback ever to beat all teams?
Wow.
Yep.
One other person has done it.
Brett Favre.
Correct.
Oh, and we're getting another one. Peyton Manning.
No, he did not beat all the teams.
He didn't?
Peyton Manning has not beaten all the teams.
Okay. Well, Favre, correct, yes.
Favre has, because he went from the NFC to the AFC.
Yeah. Oof. Wow. Forgot about it. Yeah, but honestly, I don't know. We'll get to that in a bit because I have a few things about what I think Brady needs to do now. But let's go on.
Stop drinking.
But yeah, let's go on to the penalties. Let's look at that area first.
Oh, boy.
And let's let the crazy person go first because he looks like he's about to jump through the screen in a second.
Nah. I'm going to go on a nice little rant, and it's simple. The penalties that they were calling at first on the Kansas City Chiefs were ridiculous. I'm sorry, the guy's tripping, going down, barely touches the other player, and they call out pass interference. Are you crazy? Then, in the end zone, Brady throws 10 feet from the receiver. Pass interference. Bullshit. Get your eyes examined. We already have one blind person that can see this shit. I'm done.
I'll tag team right there. It's like Brady knew that the guy was going to be there. And
exactly.
Now I understand some of the other penalties, like the kicker. Yes, I get that. That was an idiotic move. Some of the other ones that they did, idiotic moves, but the first couple of penalties were excruciating. 8 penalties for 95 yards in the first half. Tampa
And
Bay.
3 penalties on one drive.
Yep.
3 penalties. Forgot about that. 3 penalties on one drive. Tampa Bay in the first half into the whole game.
2 of
None.
them were on the same person.
Yep.
That wasn't even near this guy.
Okay. Okay, but you guys are forgetting the biggest penalty of all.
The unsportsmanlike conduct.
That supposedly, I think I heard
Brady did it in the second quarter to that player.
the match, but supposedly it was Brady who started it.
And it was never called.
Yeah, the golden boy, the pretty boy of the National Football League, didn't get fucking called for it.
Nope.
But yet Tyrann Mathieu gets it because people forget that even though it's a game, you get emotionally invested in this damn thing.
Yep.
You guys realize you had a rumble right in the first quarter, right after kickoff.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You could see the way the game was going to go. Tampa Bay was out for blood.
Yeah,
Yep. They were.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the whole thing, I think this whole notion of these penalties was like, enough was enough. I mean, I'm going to say this right now on the air. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole game because I was at work Sunday night. But I heard of the penalties. I heard all the commotion on social media. And I think this is ridiculous. That this is where it doesn't, to me, I can't believe I'm about to say this. With all these penalties being called, did they do that because of Brady? That because of the fact that Brady was in the Super Bowl and all that?
I don't know. That's an interesting question that you're posing because like the other penalties in the game, some of the penalties, yes, were questionable penalties, and then the other penalties were blatantly on Kansas City's problem. The false starts, some of the other holding calls, some of the other offsides, that was on them. But the calls that went against them that were blatantly stupid, yeah, you can see where certain people would get very aggravated with the game.
I just think, to me, it's ridiculous that the NFL has this notion that because Brady's in the fucking game, that, ooh, we can't call him for certain things, but we're going to call them against the other team.
Not just that. They were the first team to start a Super Bowl in their home stadium.
Yes.
All right, Carl, what do we have from Discord?
Kevin in Massachusetts says Tom Brady would be the 4th quarterback to have beaten all 32. Peyton Manning did beat all 32 along with Favre and Drew Brees.
That makes sense.
Kevin, thank you very much for that information.
Yeah, that makes sense because I also realized.
I totally forgot about that. Yep, Drew Brees did get drafted by the Chargers and played against the Saints. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. But my thing is this crap with Brady. Now, I'm a New Yorker. Obviously, I don't like Brady because of how he pretty much had control in New England for an awful amount of years.
Yep.
But at this point, and I'm talking directly to you there, Brady boy, at this point, you've won your 7th Super Bowl ring. You've won your 5th Super Bowl MVP. What the fuck do you still have to prove at this point in the game?
And that's what I said Sunday night.
At this point, what he should have done after that game, and he was on the stage with Jim Nantz, he should have turned and said, you know what? I'm done. I'm riding off into the sunset.
Yep.
Because at this point, what does he still have to prove?
Exactly.
43 years old, 5 NFL Super Bowl MVPs, 3 regular season MVPs, and 7 Super Bowls. Please go away, despite how great he is. He is a phenomenal quarterback. He is the greatest. But please go away. It's like we're suffering from the greatness that was Michael Jordan, or the greatness that was Kobe Bryant in the Los Angeles Lakers, or the Larry Bird led Boston Celtics, or the Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy led Los Angeles Lakers. Come on. We need some fresh fucking blood in this game. And you know what? And I hate to say this.
And I'm a Patriots fan.
And
I'm agreeing with you.
I hate to say this. And I know the logic thing is, if you want it, you got to go get it. Yes, I understand that. But if you want to get to that next level and knock this guy off of his high horse, you got to assemble a team that can compete with this guy. And not only that, but you got to have the mentality that I'm going to coach my ass off against Tom Brady, because that is what the Philadelphia Eagles did in Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota. Doug Peterson had balls. He went for it on places he shouldn't have went for it, and he did, and they beat the Patriots. And I'll make this guarantee right now. If Tom Brady did not fumble that snap against Philadelphia in that fourth quarter, he would have won possibly now, after Sunday, his ninth Super Bowl.
This is true.
Yeah.
You want to beat him? Assemble a team. Get a defense that'll beat the shit out of him like the 08 Giants did. 19-0.
But that's the funny thing is, let me just hear.
Speaking of, you mentioned that the 08 Giants, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tom Brady did one-up Steve Spagnuolo, who was the defensive coordinator of that 08 Giants.
He did.
Looks like he finally got his revenge on him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. And to me, I just think at this point, and I know I'm going to get slack for heat for this, but at this point, I said this before with Brady, and I'm going to say this again. Brady needs to retire. Plain and simple. There's no other way about it. I don't care what anybody says, because at this point, if he wins another Super Bowl, he's just rubbing it in at this point.
Yep.
Pretty much.
I mean, to be frank, let's call a spade here. I think after he won Super Bowl five, hey, hijacker. After he won Super Bowl 5, the 5th Super Bowl, I think then he started to rub it in. I mean, the fact that we're looking at somebody here in Brady who has more Super Bowl rings than most teams do. Not most teams, every team.
Yes, because Brady has more Super Bowls than any team in the NFL by himself.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's 7-6 against the Steelers.
Any organization.
And the Patriots. He has outdone his own organization that he was with for 20 plus years.
Yeah. So that means he's been in the league 20 years. Half that time has been in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nuts.
Big time.
It's ridiculous. To me, yes, I'm not taking away what he's done at all. What he's done has been remarkable, has been fantastic. But the guy needs to retire. I don't know how much more I can make that clear. The guy needs to retire. That felt good.
I think we can all agree with that.
Agreed. I agree.
Yep.
But no, I just think to me, because to me, I figure out how the best way to phrase what I was about to say. Somebody else just take the lead for a second. I'm trying to figure out the best way to phrase what I was about to say.
You know, as far as with this game too, I mean, look at the weapons that Brady had this year. I will make the argument that Brady had his best team with him as far as receivers, tight ends, running backs, and the defense. Because
Definitely.
Mike Evans, Godwin,
Antonio Brown,
the traitor himself of Pittsburgh and the Raiders. Yeah.
Yes.
That guy.
The salt really gets me on that burn of knowing that Antonio Brown
and Leonard Fournette, like Stephen P.A. said last week, and we both said it, he will unleash hell. And did he do that against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Correct.
And Gronkowski. Well, geez, I wonder, Gronk, you picked a great hell of a time to play a great game in the Super Bowl. 6 catches for 66 yards, 2 touchdowns, and better yet, that second touchdown was way better than your first one. Because your first one, you were wide the fuck open, but I digress.
Not only that, that was the 4th time in NFL history a quarterback and tight end ever made connection.
Yes.
Actually, wait a second. This means now Gronk is not only now Gronk now becomes the first person to hold both the 24/7 title and get a Super Bowl ring.
Not even one full calendar year.
Correct.
He goes to WrestleMania. I'm going to WWE. He holds the 24/7 championship for a cup of coffee. R-Truth gets it again. And then he goes to the Buccaneers and wins the Super Bowl and has one of his better games in the Super Bowl. And I'll ask this question to you guys. Do you think that they were saving the veteran that was Gronkowski for possibly being in the biggest game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because he didn't have a great regular season because he was.
Not only that, he was retired.
Yep.
Who brought him out of retirement?
Brady.
Bingo. He would turn around and told him, you hang back. Don't worry about it. Get yourself ready. The big game is where we show our face.
Yep. And for that, I have to give it to Brady. That was smart by him because that's where
whether you hate him or love him, he knows how to play this game.
Brady is a smart quarterback. He's a damn good quarterback.
It's a damn good quarterback that can't hold his liquor.
Nope. And you know what?
Nope.
Thank you, Carl, for segueing into that because our favorite golden child of the National Football League apparently cannot hold his liquor because, apparently Mr. Brady got hammered to the point where he had to be carried off
at their own celebration.
Yes, and not only that, but here's the funny part.
Oh boy.
He threw
the Super Bowl trophy to
throws,
the boat behind him.
He throws the Super Bowl trophy.
Just
ironically, on a boat.
Just
to who? To Gronkowski.
What happened if he didn't catch that?
It was not Gronkowski.
No, it was not.
What
if they lost that trophy?
Hold on, I can find that out for you right now.
But anyways, but could you imagine if Tom Brady would have threw that Lombardi trophy and it missed the boat of the person that was catching it? That would have been costly for the NFL.
Because that Super Bowl trophy is heavy, and when it hits the water, that's going down.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's Tom Brady. They would have just given him a little pat on the wrist and said, "Go on, go on your merry way."
He probably would have. He would have probably paid the cost to make another one.
Yep.
Yeah, but we're also talking about somebody here in Brady who, like I just went on that before, the guy has never. I get what you guys are saying, but again, look at who we're talking about here. We're talking about Pretty Boy himself.